Yes, come in.
Hey doctor, is it okay to interrupt you?
Good morning, how are you? Yes,
Very
yes.
good
Good morning,
to
Nalin.
you.
How are you?
So today we'll be asking you 20 questions. This is a series called 20 questions from 20 photographers. And
Sure.
are you ready to answer your questions?
Yes, sure.
Alrighty, so first we're going to start off with what's in your agenda today?
Well, as routine things, I'm going to start my work and going to see my patients and doing my procedures, and that's how I start my work today.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
What do you exactly do for a living?
Well, you can see me in, of course, a different costume, and so I'm a doctor and also a specialist in general medicine as well as gastroenterology, and also I'm a specialist in underwater medicine, diving and hyperbaric medicine, and also I was the Director General in Sri Lanka Navy Health Services, and I am a Surgeon Rear Admiral as well. So, a few things for living.
That is excellent. That is just way too many if I were to tell you. Well, what got you into photography?
Well, when I was schooling, apart from my studies, I was doing many extracurricular activities, sports and the other art activities as well. So then I got into university. Of course, the time is limited, because medicine is not easy. So then I picked two things in terms of sports, the cricket, and also the art. Of course, I selected photography. So I bought my first camera.
Started.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Has the quarantine affected your workflow?
Well, yes, really, really. But I never stopped working because as doctors, you can't stop working. Of course, I did continue my working, but of course, the number of patients I see a day is much less. Of course, I work about half a day, but of course, I never stop working.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this in Sinhalese. Quarantine khaledi, gather hitapu khaledi, alut hobbies sari habits sari pick up karad. You were the
උයන්න මට බෑ මගේ වයිෆ් තමයි ගොඩක් උයන්නේ she's එයා හොඳ කුක් කෙනෙක්. ඉතින් මම කරේ ඇත්තටම මගේ පරණ ෆොටෝග්‍රාෆ්ස් මගේ hard drives වල තියෙන ෆොටෝග්‍රාෆ්ස් ටික ක්ලියර් කරා. මම හිතන්නේ ඒක මට ලොකු වාසියක් වුණා because මම පෙන්නන නොයිලින්ට මම දැන් පෞගේ අවුරුදු දෙක තුනේද ගත්තු පින්තූර hard drives වල එහෙමම තිබුණා ඒවා මුකුත් කරේ නැහැ. මොකද මගේ ප්‍රොෆෙෂන් එකත් හැටියට ඒක හරි අමාරුයි කරන්න. ඉතින් මේ දවස්වල මම හැන්දෑවරු සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වගේ කරේ ඒ පින්තූර ටික ක්ලියර් කරන එක. So it was amazing and I was able to sort of clear fantastic photographs which I think I have
even you haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen. So basically in Oilin I converted a problem to opportunity. It's a kind of a blessing in disguise to me.
Excellent.
So it's a good opportunity. But I don't think I ever get that kind of thing in my life, 2 months
Absolute
freedom. I don't think I never had in my life before. I don't think I will ever get in my life in future.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
So, what's your go-to camera and lens at the moment?
Well, I am using Sony and also the 400 2.8 and 7200 2.8 and the 1635 to 2.8.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. What was your first camera you mastered?
Well, I started with Nikon and it was a film camera, and then I converted into digital, and so up until about 2 years ago I was using Nikon. Then I shifted to Sony for the fact that I need to upgrade my gear all the time, so I need mirrorless, and also the weight, that is important because I travel a lot, so weight is really affects me. So now of course I am carrying about 11 kilos in my back when I travel. Whereas, whereas those days I used to carry around 23-25 kilos. It is a huge advantage as a wildlife photographer.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you solidify or figure out your uniqueness?
Well, I am, you can see my pictures and people talk about me with regard to my art in wildlife photography. I always try to do something new. Although the common belief is right time in right place in wildlife photography and also perhaps the right gear. But I don't believe the wildlife photography has gone far beyond that. So you need to, with the limited kind of a liberty that you got in wildlife photography, still you can do a kind of you can create a picture. So just rather than just taking a picture, I make pictures in situation there. So art in wildlife photography is my
believe in creating.
Creating, yeah, that's right. Creative photography in wildlife photography still you can do. Just freezing an action is not my favorite anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aside from wildlife photography, is there any other style you like to play around with?
Well, again, because in photography, wildlife, because you're a nature photographer, there are huge field, you know. But still, I prefer to photographs more than the flora is fauna, because with my again limited time, I want to master something very small area in wildlife photography rather than doing every bits and pieces here and there. So then you can go to a kind of a peak on that rather than doing everything bits and pieces here and there. Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite part of being a photographer?
Well, I like to take up challenges. As in my life, I have taken right throughout in my career. I have taken a lot of challenges in my life that applies to my photography as well. So I like to do experiments. I take risks enough and more risks in my life as well as the photography. So other than
risk is what you enjoy.
yeah, that's right. So you never succeed unless you take calculated risk. Risk means calculated, not the bold risks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. What are some tips you'd give to someone who wants to be or take pictures like you? Be like you or take pictures.
Well. It is like this, Noilin, because I still believe I still learn in my photographs. It's a long curve, never ending curve, never ends. I still make mistakes. Yeah. I'm amateur. I would say I'm not professional. My profession is totally different. I never earn money out of wildlife photography. Of course, I spend money on that. But still I learn. I still learn from anybody, you know. I still learn from the best photographers in the world, and also sometimes even my guide would teach me. Still I learn. So my advice to the people who step into photography is try to do something new, something to be creative, rather than just taking pictures. Try to make pictures. It is important, because I feel that camera is a kind of a gear that you can, for example, like if a painter doing his painting by using the brush and also the paint and everything, using your camera and the settings, kind of try to make it something different. So it is important. Then you can develop some kind of identification in your photography as well.
Find your own uniqueness.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What's your favorite place and animals photograph?
Well, I still believe that Sri Lanka is my famous place, because I started my photography in Yala National Park. So that is my learning ground, you know, right? But still, now of course, it is very busy, and your freedom is not there. So therefore, I started visiting other places, other parts of the world. So Kenya is one of my favorite places. I have been there about 10-15 times. Every year I go there. And what I like in Kenya, in Masai Mara especially, is although it is relatively small compared to the wildlife parks in Africa, but still it is plains, you know. And also when you are lucky to get off-road permit, you can go behind the animals without disturbing them. So plains and the animals, and you can see the far distance, you know. And is ideal place for action photography, as well as you can do your creative photographs as well. But since of late I start exploring the areas where the most of the wildlife photographers hardly go. For example, like last year I was in France and it is Camargue. It's a parc d'ornithologique, and for flamingos, where you can walk and you can do your all the angles and everything. So it is good. And also the Lake Kirkin in Greece, fantastic. I have been there twice. Amazing that you can see the largest water bird, that Dalmatian pelicans. So still you can walk around, and for me, without disturbing. So for me it is a huge advantage, because as I said before, I am trying to do something different. So my walking and also the placing my gear in different places is very, very important, and huge advantage for me.
Do you work alone?
Well, not alone. Sometimes my wife joins me, especially in the pictures on the wild excursion in UK, because my family lives in UK. My daughters live in UK. So every year or once or twice I go to UK. So then I combine that with a family tour with a wildlife tour.
Okay. So the photography part is done alone mostly?
No, they come with me.
Okay.
But of course, sometimes, especially in Kenya and all, I go with a couple of other doctors, and sometimes Laxi join me, my good friend, And in Japan, Lakshita and Manjula joined me. So not alone actually. Of course, Sri Lanka was I go alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain me your location scouting and pre-production process. What exactly are you looking for when you do that?
I do a little bit of study before I go to place. Of course, the places like Kenya and all, there's nothing to study because I have been there many times. Of course, I can just go there and I can start my photography. But the places like France and the new things, generally I go through the net and I go through all the previous photographers who've been there, and also their pictures and everything. Then I can have some kind of idea. Maybe I can fire a few emails to the places, the guys who work in there. Then I can have some kind of information. So then, so I do my little bit of homework. So before I go there, that is very important. And also the pictures I study, pictures I have taken before the photographs I have taken in that location. So then I can have some kind of idea whether I would be able to sort of walk around and what could be the temperature like, what could be the angles, what could be the light like, what is the best time like. So that kind of thing I have some idea before I go there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Aside from the camera, what's your favorite gear?
Well, I use my gimbal head and the Gitso tripod.
Okay. What was the best advice that you've received from somebody?
Well, as I said before, I like to get advice from anybody, irrespective of the photographer or anybody, the person who will walk on the road.
Say the advice to all the viewers here.
Well, first thing is in wildlife photography, in terms of wildlife photography, is first thing is your priority should be preserve the wildlife before your wildlife photography desire. Okay. That is excellent. That is very important to place your. It is important. Taking pictures is little low down. So preserve your fauna and flora. That is very important.
If there was a movie about you, who would you want to play you as like your character?
Well, maybe the kind of adventure, some kind of thing.
Yeah,
because as I said, in my naval life also I have taken risks, Yes. So I have been taking risks right throughout my life, and so I would like to say kind of a
adventure movie with a good actor.
Adventure movie, yeah.
Okay, how do you stay inspired like this? You do so many things.
Yeah, in the sense that some people ask me how I fare my time with doing all. Of course, now I am not working in the Navy. I used to work in the Navy for many years, but still I was doing all the photographs and everything, all my other extracurricular activities. So still, if you want, you can find time. Okay. And because everybody has 24 hours a day and 7 days a week and 365 days per year. So but still, if you calculate this thing, you can do many things. I am doing many things. I do my workout and everything, but still you can find time.
What do you spend money on other than your photography gear?
Well, my dress.
Okay. So your outfits?
Yeah, outfit, and also
the.
Okay. Yeah, well, not much, but I spend reasonable money on my gear, my dress, outfit, clothes, yeah. And also the my workout, and so I do workout gear. I do a lot of work. Every day I do my workout, okay. And that is very important. One important message to the newcomers to the photography, because your fitness is very important. Because you go to a place where the temperature is very low, and sometimes terrain is not good. Yeah. Your fitness is very important because you are spending a lot of money, especially when you go out of the country. Yes. Therefore, fitness is very important. So I always specifically mention fitness in my lectures.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Last questions for you, and then we'll be out of here. Who should we interview next? Well,
I would say the Lakshita is a fantastic.
Do you say so?
One thing is a good human.
Okay.
And he's a fantastic photographer who has won many awards and medals all over the places. Yeah. Okay,
so we'll reach out to Lakshita and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Noeline. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.